Okay, but you know, this is real. These are who are the people who espouse the pro-choice position. This is what's in their core values. Okay, what we need to do is to help desperate mothers who feel like they can hardly take care of their children. You come back full circle. You address the social question, and most of the time they'll find it satisfactory, if not completely agreeing. Okay, is there a conversation with indifferent pro-lifers as well? Can we see how much time we have? Do we preach the moral case directly? Have you guys ever been preached to? Why aren't you helping preborns? You in the yellow shirt, why aren't you doing more? Why aren't you giving more presentations like this? I mean, this could really help people, you know? You get people to clarify their minds and understand that these pro-choicers are pretty decent people. They just need to... Is that helpful at all? To preach the moral case directly to somebody? Would anybody find that? In fact, does anybody here like me to talk to you that way? Don't raise your hand. I don't want to know if you're masochistic or something, you know? Nobody likes being talked to that way. People don't like having morals imposed upon them. They like realizing their own morals. That's what we just did in the conversation. But now can we do that with pro-life? Because in that conversation, you realize we just talked about their values, things that they already agree with, and it showed completely that preborns should be protected, and it doesn't matter if they're dependent. We talk completely about other people's values. It's not even about you, because when you try to talk, you want to talk about yourself. I believe this, I believe that. Well, I don't believe this, I don't believe that. It sounds like you're imposing your morality. When all you're trying to help people is to realize that this is a better way of approaching all human beings. Okay, so what can we do in the pro-life movement? We said that the problem was with effective action. It was with education, courage, and priority. Okay, that's the problem behind it, because they don't comprehend the tragedy. They don't see what's wrong. They don't see that this is horrible. So it's not something that they're doing something wrong. Hey, you're not doing a good job. It's a question of education, and courage, and priority. What we need right now in this country, okay, if you want to really defeat discrimination, is a way of doing this. Hey, that's why I talk, right? Well, I'm trying at least, okay? So we're going to take a shift in this whole talk. And again, if you missed anything, that's okay, because it's all in the book, and again, you can just grab one and run. There's 180 copies. So I think that's more than enough because we didn't fill the room. But you have to start asking yourself, where am I in this pro-life movement? What am I doing, and what's going to truly be effective? Because one of the problems was effective action. One of the problems in the pro-life movement was just plain effective action. Does anybody have some good, effective idea to do? Good.
Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
When I'm...
Oh, I have an answer.
And my voice is a little hoarse, but I'll try. In praying outside abortion mills, sometimes people will bring up some really nasty-looking posters.
Yeah.
And they're very realistic.
Mm-hmm.
But they seem to be argumentative.
Okay. Okay. You know, it's in chapter 6 in my book. No. Yes, no, but I will answer that question right here. The problem. Thank you. I'm glad I got the laughter. Right? I thought that was funny. You know, it's like Conan O'Brien when he falls flat. It's like, I didn't like the joke either. Don't worry about it. Okay, the movement right now looks like that. It looks like stereotypical, in your face. It looks really harsh and hard. That's why this personalism movement exists. It's about people. It's about reaching out to what's actually in them, the goodness that's in them. So this is why I asked this. That's a perfect lead-in. Thank you. God put you right there for that reason. All right? Can we begin a movement-based conversation? No one has articulated this message to the country as far as, to a very large extent. There are many hints about it in pieces of literature and pro-life websites, but there are a few people who want to actually acknowledge that we can work completely with it. All right? And that's why we have a problem. That's why I hear so many students year in and year out at this conference say, hey, you know what? Those graphic pictures, isn't there another way of doing things? They just disturb people. And that's a hard thing, okay? Is there another way of doing it? This is the University of Florida pro-life survey. We took about 70 people, so it's not the most scientific thing in the world. We need about 500 people. It's kind of harder to do 500 people. We asked them one question: what will get you engaged? What will get you involved, completely involved, in a pro-life movement? Okay, we're addressing the apathy. Okay, we're addressing that indifference. What will get you engaged? What are they looking for? An effective movement or collective momentum, something that looks big, something that they can truly take part in and be effective in and feel like they're being effective. That's what they want. That's where the indifference is. Okay? Or they want something being active or exciting. Again, just something that looks that says, hey, we have something profound here. And guess what we do? We have a new way of approaching pro-life with a positive message. We can involve people in this. All right? Other people just need education or they need to be explaining moral reasons for joining. And we have that too in the personalism movement and what we've just described. And again, this is thanks to all the pro-lifers who came before me. Not that I can just come up with all this stuff. You know, I'm not saying the personalism movement has this, but in the development of the pro-life movement in general, I've said, hey, listen, it can culminate at this moment in the personalism movement, at least on the bioethical side. Okay? So we're experiencing a problem of the values gap. Okay? There are those who say, who know how they treat people, but then they say, I have a position of allowing legalized abortion. That's a gap, and we're trying to align. Okay? We have people who are saying, I'm indifferent. They say I'm pro-life, but then they're indifferent. There's a gap. There's a bridge, and we have to create that bridge to address that. Okay? And then finally, there's one final values gap. Can anybody guess where that is? There's a group of people who are not indifferent and who are not supporters of legalized abortion. Who would that be?
People who don't believe that the unborn is a human being, and someone who deserves personally right.
I mean, yes. So those would fall into that supporters of legalized abortion.
Because they could be completely moral people, but if they don't genuinely believe it's a human being,
Yeah.
then it doesn't apply
Yeah.
to them.
I'll tell you, like page I don't know, 3 or 4 of my book will address why it is a human. I didn't want to go over everything before, but yeah, they're still falling through the camp of saying that a woman should be able to have a surgical abortion performed on her preborn child. Okay, but there's another social thing, and it's in pro-lifers who are active. Okay, realize this about yourselves. What is it? What is it about us that has a social tension gap? What is the problem?
That we're not taking steps to help babies.
We're not taking real steps. We're not really getting to the thing we want to do. Father Frank Pavone, he wrote a book, and it was titled Ending Abortion, Not Just Fighting It. We're sick and tired of fighting it. Why should we have been fighting it for 40 years if it's just discrimination? We already took care of that in 1964. Okay? I thought we did. What happened? So we have all these profound truths, and we don't have a way to share it. And on the large scale, I mean. This is why I say we can have a message by collective action, a collective movement, a movement-based message. Okay? That